What's going on, y'all? It's the Conscious One coming at you. Okay, so I've been wanting to make an audio about this for a long time, and I debated whether I was going to talk about it or not because I didn't want to sound like an asshole, and I didn't really want to offend people. But I'm gonna go ahead and talk about it because the thing that can make people think I'm an asshole for talking about this is the same thing that can also make people look at themselves and look how they function in society and perhaps do some things to make some improvements on the way they deal with things. And then I'm gonna talk about probably a couple of random topics. Um, I mentioned to y'all before, I grew up a shy Jehovah's Witness who was actually afraid to talk to people. I wasn't really allowed to talk or have relationships with people outside of the religion. And that kind of stunted my growth. I didn't really start becoming social probably until around really 17, 18 years old. And when I decided to become social, boy, did I become social. I mean, how do they say the cat was let out of the bag or something like that? When I became social, boy, did I become social because I had so much built up inside that I wanted to say. Um, you know, I don't believe in equality. A lot of you guys know that about me. I don't believe in equality. And I'm not talking about whether it's between races. I'm also talking about even within people of their own race. Take, for instance, example, go back and look at the fight between and George Foreman and Ron Lyle. Now, when you look at a personality like Muhammad Ali, you know, and then you look at Muhammad Ali's fighting style, what he did on and off the court, so to speak, or in and out of the boxing ring. When you look at how his personality was, to be the '60s, 1960s, he was way ahead of his time. I mean, it's like everybody else was living in black and white, and he was already in color. You see what I'm saying? But you look at the way he fought and his bubbly personality, and then you go back and look at a fight between George Foreman and Ron Lyle. Two big brutes just sitting up there slugging each other in the face. They can't even move out of the way of a punch. That's why I understand what Mayweather's talking about, as in he talks about it's about not getting hit. It's about hitting and not getting hit. So when you look at these two brute beasts, Ron Lyle and George Foreman, and especially the way Muhammad Ali treated both of them in the ring. Matter of fact, I want to go back and look at that Ron Lyle Muhammad Ali fight because, I mean, he just made him look like a child, And you just say, why is, why is, it's so different. Why is the spirit of two individuals, they both can be black and be so different. One can be bubbly, characteristic, have a personality, and the other one can be just dry. And that's what I want to talk about today is that, one thing that's irritating about me being down here in this life and folks that I come around, most people's personality is about as bubbly as a bowl of dry, unsalted walnuts. Okay? It's about as fun as a cardboard box, or it's about as spirited as drywall. You know what I mean? And I don't mean to poke fun at people, but this is how I see it. When you have a bubbly personality like myself, it can be intimidating to a lot of people. But see, the thing about me, I went to college for like 8 years. I went to Malcolm X College in Chicago. I went to Columbia College in Chicago. I went to Northeastern Illinois University. I spent 8 years in college, and it wasn't about getting a degree. It was about the experiences that I did, especially when I was in film and doing things on that level. People I learned to be around. Uh, I never was afraid to speak my mind, whether I was in front of 50 white people who looked at me as just some black dude, or I'm outside of that realm. I'm not stuck in a box, and a lot of times I can intimidate people because I'm not stuck into the box. A few weeks ago, I dropped off this order to this Hispanic dude, and I'm so confident when I speak to people. I look at people dead in their eye when I'm talking to them. Um, and I told this dude, "Have a good night." He said, "Oh, have a good night." And then as I'm walking away, I turn my back. "Oh, have a good day." Like, okay, That's a role. Like he's stuck in a. He don't even know whether he could say good night to me or good day to me. He's he's intimidated. My light gets in front of people. It's a shock. First of all, I don't act like somebody you've seen on television, and I don't act like the people you probably know at your school or at your job or anywhere you go. Until you run into somebody with that kind of light in your face, I guess it can be a shock. And then all of a sudden you're stuttering. A lot of people, they start stuttering when they get in my face. They don't, even when I try to be normal. Like let's say I just try to like, I got this military countenance, right? And then I'm like at ease, and then I at ease. Like I approach somebody, get a little street. What up, man? Stuff like that. They steal the light. I cannot hide the light. It's too my light is too strong. People. You just imagine though, it's not their fault. You're dealing with so many low vibration people, and then you come across a light, and I guess that would be a little intimidating because you don't know how to deal with it. Because we're more than just these bodies. We're more than just our language and words. We are light beings, right? And some people's light shine a lot brighter uh, than other people's light, and that's just the way it is. And even when I come across a person that has a light, I be so happy because finally I can like I don't have to worry about this person being intimidated in me or feeling any kind of way if I say something to them like they got the light shining bright like I do. So it's very rare I come across these people. So people like myself, we find ourselves very lonely in life because even if we try to make friends, their light is not shining bright enough for me to want to be around them like that. And they might not know that, but I know that. You see what I'm saying? Because when your light is dim and everybody else's light is dim or dimmer, you can be around it, right? But somebody with light, it's hard to make a lot of friends. So a lot of times, people with a lot of light, people like Muhammad Ali, a lot of character, you oftentimes just have to like make fun of everything. You have to like Muhammad Ali was always just very charismatic. Like you have to do that to like you almost have to entertain yourself because you find people's personality is so boring and that you have to actually like entertain yourself just to get through the day. And that's what I find myself do. I have to entertain myself. You see, and people know it. Like I say, people know I'm different. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna sit. I don't want to use the word chosen one. I just use the word light. People know my light is just shines bright when they come in my face. They just know it. They know it. People say, man, there's something about that guy when they walk away from me. And even if I try, like I say, even if I try to play normal, they walk away like they don't treat me normal. They know it's something about this dude. They don't know what it is, but they know it's something. He is not like these other people out here. They know it. And so it's either going to turn them off or it's going to turn them on to want to follow me, so forth and so on. Now, one thing I don't like about New York, I told y'all random topics. I'm bouncing. Forgive me. One thing I don't like about New York, and even this dude said it on a YouTube video the other day. He said one thing about New York is that everybody is in everybody's business, and that's one thing I do notice about New York. I don't know if it's the same in on the East Coast, Philly, Jersey. I don't know, but everybody's in everybody's business here, and that's one thing I do not like about New York. Everybody's always in your business. I noticed that about people here in New York. They stay in other people's business for whatever reason that is. I don't know. Maybe it's so many people here that they just feel like I don't know bird watching more. I don't know, but the one thing I do like about New York is the food. I do gotta say that the food here outshines other places I've been, like Vegas and Chicago, especially the halal Arabic food, like lamb over rice. This lamb over rice that these folks make around the corner. Oh my God, it's unbelievable. And then the lamb over rice. Excuse me. Yeah, I said that the chocolate, like the ice cream, chocolate ice cream here. Like I don't know where New York get this chocolate ice cream from, but it's like every place I go and get chocolate ice cream or chocolate milkshake stuff like that, it'd be like the best chocolate milkshake I ever had. You know what I mean? So New York definitely got it on the food game. And I tell you, if the rent was affordable on this East Coast, I would probably stay here just because I got a good mechanic that don't cheat me, and and chocolate ice cream and lamb over rice. I would stay here if rent was affordable just because of the lamb and rice, chocolate ice cream, and having a good mechanic. See, it don't take a lot to please me. That's enough to that's enough to keep me where I'm at because that's enough to please me because I ain't gonna find too you ain't gonna find nothing else too much, in life that makes your day good, except just maybe the small things. You know what I mean? That's why living life is not about having a lot of money. It's the small things that count and can really make you happy in your day. That's why, like, some people, when they come into a restaurant, that be their only good experience in that day, and they end up having a bad bartender or a bad waitress or waiter. They can get really upset because that's the only part of their day that means anything. They go home, they might have to put on a role as a husband to their wife. They playing a role. Some people living with each other, and they more lonely than a person living by themselves. You can be married and more lonely than living with somebody than actually being by yourself. So that's a whole nother topic. But getting back to Ron Lyle and George Foreman, you watch these two individuals fight, and you like, these are robots. It's like zombies. You asking, why can't they get out of the way? Like, why can't they dodge a punch? Why are they just hitting each other? It's almost as if some people were an animal in their former life, and this is their first time they stepped up to the human consciousness for the first time, and they're a young soul in general. Yet people who have this charismatic, bubbly personality, it's like they didn't been through several lifetimes as a human, and they're just down here just bouncing around, just having a good time. Everything comes really easy for them. They don't have to work hard. Some people have to work just to drive. They got to use their brain like 5 times as harder than a person like me. Like, maybe one of the reasons why I look so young is because I don't have to use my brain that much to do things. Everything comes easy with me. Whereas other people, just to do a single task, they have to work 3 times as hard. They have to use more brain matter. And over time, that ages them. You see what I'm saying? But yeah, Muhammad Ali, Ron Lyle, it's the most robotic thing you have ever seen in your life. Just look at that fight, yo. You're like, why can't you just get out the way, dude? And then you go look at somebody like Floyd Mayweather. Now, when Muhammad Ali came back from the army, he could have possibly been cloned, y'all. I don't know, because that's one of the symptoms of having Alzheimer's is or being cloned is having Alzheimer's. Bobby Hemmett talks about this because when Muhammad Ali came out of the army, and came back. Oh, excuse me, when he came back from being banned from boxing, all of a sudden he like couldn't get out the way. He just like getting hit all upside the head. Like, why can't you? How you lose your legs? A black man don't lose his legs after just 3 years of being out of the ring. Okay, you don't lose your legs at the age of how old he was, 30, 32, when he came back from being banned. All of a sudden, it's like he lost something. You know what I'm saying? Now, even he was having a lot of sex and he lost his legs. I don't know. Maybe that could have been. But Floyd Mayweather has always got out the way. Right? And if Floyd Mayweather, he's 44 now. I'm pretty sure if he fought Canelo Alvarez, which he probably will again, and it's probably going to go the same way, he's going to take him the distance and win the fight and avoid all his punches. So if Floyd Mayweather can still get out of the way and he's almost 45 years old, you just wonder, like, how can you not get out the way of a punch? How do you not see it coming? And then Bobby Hemmett say that George Foreman was a clone. And I could believe that. He said, because look at the two personalities, George Foreman from the 70s and the one from like the 90s that was selling hamburger grills, right? He said two different people. And one thing I can relate to that is that, okay, this George Foreman in the 70s can't take a punch. He's getting knocked out by punch, like getting wobbly off getting hit a few times. And then a George Foreman in the 90s who fought Evander Holyfield is getting hit upside the head like a zombie. Like you can't do nothing. You could hit a bomb across his face. He wouldn't have fell to that canvas. So that seems that right there tells me that's two different people. You can't go from having a glass jaw to a glass jaw. All right? I don't know no boxers like that. All right? How do you go from having a glass jaw to not having a glass jaw? Lennox Lewis always had a glass jaw. That's why in his later career he had to perfect his defense, which he did. But mostly the time it was only because of his long reach that he was able to stay away from getting knocked out because he had a glass chin. You see what I'm saying? So I'm kind of rambling across topics, but I was gonna give y'all something good after doing Rick Astley. After acting a damn fool, I was gonna come back and give y'all something good. But yeah, that's the hardest thing about being me, y'all, is that it's hard to find people who actually have a personality. A lot of people are living vicariously through personalities on television, personalities that they see on YouTube. They're actually living vicariously through those individuals, meaning that they are pretending that they somebody else. They don't really have a personality themselves. They're living vicariously through other personalities to express themselves. But if you put these people out on the street, they wouldn't have nothing to say because they don't really have a personality. And so that's the most irritating part of me. Most of the people that I find have like personalities, it be people like outside the United States. Most people in the United States, I think, don't have a personality simply because, once again, most of them are living vicariously through entertainment. Okay? Entertainment. So yeah, I just want to say that, y'all. And I think I done just about said everything. And everything's going good. Y'all hear I'm in a good mood. Y'all hear my spirit. And I hope y'all have a good day out there. Oh, and enjoy the Super Bowl. Go Bengals. All right, y'all. Peace.